Hello, I'm Teresa Bachman, Director of Operations and Programming at the Palace Theater for Westmoreland Cultural Trust. Welcome to another edition of our virtual tour. Today we're going to explore even further behind the scenes, starting with our dressing rooms. We're backstage now at the Palace in the dressing room wing, where there are 10 rooms in total, 4 on the first floor and 6 on the second. The first room on the left is often used as a production office for national touring companies, where the road manager will use it as a base of operations to coordinate that day's show, or even touch base with the cities in the next week or month ahead to coordinate those technical aspects of a production. The second room on the left is the largest room and can be used either as an exclusive dressing room for the primary talent or shared by up to 8 people. There are 2 smaller rooms on the right side of the hallway in the first floor that again can either be shared by up to 3 or 4 people or used as a solo star dressing room. The second floor has 6 rooms of varying sizes and includes showers, especially used by the road crews that don't always get a hotel when they're driving overnight from city to city. Renovations occurred in this dressing room wing approximately 2010, where we replaced all the cosmetic aspects of the room, including makeup mirrors and lights, countertops, new carpeting, fresh paint, wardrobe racks, and numerous electrical outlets to meet today's needs for technology like laptops and cell phones. A green room is an industry term for a catering or break room, where national touring talent and crew and the local crew can enjoy a meal or a break throughout the day. A national tour will provide a technical rider with a catering section that details food and beverages to be served and noting any allergies or dietary restrictions. Traditionally, catering has been served as buffets in the industry, but in this time of COVID, technical riders are expected to change, where artists will instead request a buyout so they can take a monetary value and eat on their own off premises, or they can take a boxed meal served on site. The space below the theater seating was originally a bowling alley. The lanes are still visible on the floor, though the gutters have long been covered and the pin sets removed many years ago. We're under the stage at the Palace Theater in the original boiler room with Greg Barsoon, facilities manager for all the properties owned and managed by the Trust.
One of the interesting aspects or components of the theater was the heating system for the facility. Back in the early 1900s, it was not uncommon to have buildings and residences, houses that are coal-fired heat. The Palace Theater was no different. And one of the most interesting things that was a component of the heating system was the cold fire boiler system, steam boiler system, that was placed in here approximately in the early 1900s. The flagship of the boiler system was the Peerless Heater Company, which was established in 1908. Now, if you look over here, this was the old coal fire boiler system, and it's a 1910 series. Well before natural gas came into play, there was this boiler system right here. It's obviously quite old. And this was responsible for heating the entire facility of the Palace Theater and the apartments during the cold winter months. Now, the way it was brought in, as far as the coal was there was thousands of pounds of coal that were brought in on a periodic basis, as with any facility in the city of Greensburg, and it was stored here in order for someone to obviously shovel it in. This was, in its heyday, the state-of-the-art boiler system, and as you can see, with any boiler system, steam boiler system, it has these components and these sections that the water would go through to be heated up and distributed amongst the facility itself, inside the theater, the orchestra level, even the stage for the performers, as well as the apartments upstairs. After the age of the cold fire boiler system, steam boiler system came to pass, and the luxury of natural gas came in. cold fire boiler. It was gas fired and it was installed, I'm guessing, in the early 70s. And then if you look up here, it was just married in or piped into the original plumbing for the coal fire boiler that actually took the place of this coal fire boiler, and no one had to come down here and shovel massive amounts of coal on a periodic basis to keep the building heated. As time went on, innovations went on, technology improved. And from this boiler that was installed in the 70s, we came and moved over to a newer boiler that was installed in 1994. I know 1994 because of the fact that the boiler certificate was when it stated that it was installed. And I started shortly thereafter. But as far as the boiler system goes, you pretty much have a 3-generational display here of a heating system. And now what we have as far as the heating system and the theater itself is a 3 million BTU hot water forced air system, which is state of the art. It's a far cry from the 1900s of a coal-fed boiler system. The boiler system is only used during extremely cold temperatures because during a full house, it gets pretty warm in there when you have over 1,200 people there. But other than that, there is a snapshot of what the heating system for basically most of, if not all, of the facilities in downtown Greensburg would be comprised of.
In 2016, Westmoreland Cultural Trust began renovating 12 old apartments that had been above the balcony and lobby areas of the Palace Theater. In 2018, 4 units were opened on the 2nd floor, and in 2019, 4 additional units were opened on the 3rd floor of the building. These 1, 2, and 3 bedroom units serve as a revenue generator for Westmoreland Cultural Trust. Thank you for joining us for our 5-part virtual tour series. Near total closure of the Palace Theater since mid-March 2020 has severely impacted Westmoreland Cultural Trust, with well over 100 Palace event postponements or cancellations and facing an anticipated net loss this year of $350,000. Your support will help keep the lights on at the Palace Theater and sustain all of the Trust community arts initiatives. To demonstrate that you recognize the value the Palace Theater and Trust bring to the cultural dynamic of our region, please donate today in any amount through the link on this post. We gratefully thank you in advance for your support.